don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swag. That's my tradition. That's my tradition.
It's a good tradition.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have time for two more questions, Cornel. And so one, I want to follow up on the last point you just made about how do we be armed from our traditions to address our catastrophes. So how do we think about tradition, especially given now that we're thinking about the ways in which our texts that were in our traditions are often flawed. Right. You mentioned several philosophers tonight who have views that are really problematic and horrendous. So how do we grapple with the need to reclaim a tradition, but also to be critical about it? How do you engage classic text that might have views within them that are actually quite horrendous, and yet still want to claim resources from them that might be useful for us? So how do you think about that question?
Yeah, I mean, one, though, I think that hermeneutical humility is a precondition or a prerequisite for any kind of serious intellectual engagement. If you're looking for purity or pristine perspectives, then you can go to a little narrow catechism that's connecting you to Manichaean views that has little to do with truth and beauty and reality and has everything to do with power and manipulation and subjugation. Now, unfortunately, those are very popular. They really are. But I think anytime you're talking about quest for truth, you acknowledge none of us have a monopoly on it. Same is true with beauty and goodness and the holy. We don't have a monopoly on it. As a Christian, I learned from Malcolm. As a Christian, I learned from my dear sister Bell Hooks, who's Buddhist. I learned from Ambedkar, who's Buddhist. I learned from Gandhi, who's Hindu.